The most basic way to turn 2D entities into 3D ones is to give them a Z coordinate that isn't 0, or else to change their thickness from 0 to some kind of height. To show how this works, I'm going to draw a line. So I'll just start here and draw arbitrarily to there. Now, if we select it, you come over here to the properties bar, open up the geometry, and you can see the Z is 0 for both endpoints. So I'm going to change the Z to say 5. Now it looks like it's changed. Let's orbit around to have a look for sure. As you can see, the end of the line is now higher. So this makes it a three-dimensional object. To change the thickness is what it means. And the thickness is handled over here in this property. So let's change that to 5. And now suddenly we have what looks like a wall or a plane. But in fact, if you look at properties, it's still considered a line. So we now took a 2D line and made it 3D by making one end higher than the other end by changing the Z coordinate, and then by giving it a thickness. I've drawn here a few entities, and let's see which ones can take advantage of changes in Z and thickness. Here's a circle. We can see we can give it a thickness, so there's a 5, and we can give it a Z. Or we can even give it a negative Z, and that would put it below the XY plane. Here's a point, which looks like a circle, but I've given it the PD mode to make it look like a circle, so it's easy to find. And points can be given thickness, which makes them look like a line, as well as a Z distance. Now, some entities, that doesn't work. Polyline, you can give it a thickness, but you can't give it a Z. The spline is different. You can give one end a height, or any of its control points heights, but you can't give it a thickness. For some reason, the regular polyline command cannot take Z coordinates, and so BricsCAD has a separate command called 3D poly that does. Here I've selected a 3D polyline, and I'm going to give it that Z coordinate. While 3D polylines created by the 3D poly command take Z coordinates, they do not take thickness. You can turn the Z coordinate to 0 and the thickness back to 0 to flatten out these entities, but BricsCAD has a command that does it for you. Enter the flatten command, asks you which ones, so enter in all for all of them, and then press enter. Notice that some are unaffected, and I'm not really sure why. These you can flatten manually. So I'm going to select the line, the point, and then come over to thickness where it says varies, enter in 0, and there they are flattened.